Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. So we are here for grade 7 math. Hold on, let me. So a+students.com, the website is down today. So we are going to cover the lesson on our own today, like without the a+students.com. And we are going to start with today's fractions and mixed numbers. Okay, hello. Probably you can hear me now. So we're going to start with grade 7 math. The lesson we're going to start with is fractions and mixed numbers. The website aplusstudents.com is down today, right? So today we're going to start with the lesson that is fractions and mixed numbers. We're going to start with the first lesson that is equivalent fractions. So let's just start with the lesson that is equivalent fractions. We're going to learn what are the equivalent fractions and how do we find equivalent fractions, right? Okay, we're going to start with the first example that is 2 by 3. You have to write down the equivalent fractions of the 2 by 3, right? So what are the equivalent fractions? Equivalent fractions are the one you can find the equivalent fractions by multiplying this fraction by the same number, right? If you multiply this fraction by 2, that is 4 over 6. 4 over 6 is an equivalent fraction to 2 by 3, right? So you can multiply by any number. They are the equivalent fraction because you multiplied it by the same number. So that is an equivalent fraction. So 2 by 3, 4 by 6, 6 by 9, they all are the equivalent fractions, right? Okay, okay. The next one is you have to find the missing number, right? That is the missing number divided by 3 equals 6 divided by 9. So how do we find a missing number? You have to see they are the equivalent fractions, right? 3 times what number is 9? 3 times 3 is 9. You have to find what number times 3 equals 6. That is 2 times 3 equals 6. So the missing number is 2. Because we're working on the equivalent fractions, we know these fractions are equivalent. So 2 times 3 is 6. Right? The next one is you have to find the equivalent fraction of 1 by 2. So how do we find the equivalent fraction of 1 over 2? You are given the options 4 by 10, 4 by 8, 3 by 4 and 6 by 8. So which is the correct option? Which one is equivalent? Just see 4 by 10. If you multiply this fraction by 4, that is 4 times 1 is 4 and 4 times 2 is 8. That is 4 by 8, not 4 by 10. So this isn't the correct option, right? You can see here you have 4 by 8. That means yes, that is the correct option. So the correct option is 4 by 8. So 4 by 8 is equivalent to 1 over 2, right? Okay, the next one is 4 divided by the missing number. 4 divided by missing number equals 2 over 4. So which is the correct option? 2 times 2 is 4, isn't it? So that means you need to multiply the denominator with 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. So that is 4 over 8. The correct option is 4 by 8, right? The correct option is 4 by 8. Okay, the next one is you have to find the missing number. So which number is missing? 1 or 2? Which is the correct option? 5 times 2 is 10. So what number times 2 is 2? Yes, that is 1 times 2. So 1 by 5 is equivalent to 2 by 10. Okay, the next one is which fraction is equivalent to 3 by 9? You are given the options 1 by 3 and 1 by 2. So which is the correct option? The correct option is 1 over 3 and 3 over 9 are exactly equivalent, right? That is 1 over 3. Okay, now you have to find the equivalent fraction to 4 over 5. So, which is the correct option? You are given 6 over 7, 8 over 10. Which is the correct option? Yes, that is 8 over 10. The correct option is 8 by 10. Option number 2 is the correct option, right? Because 4 times 2 is 8 and 5 times 2 is 10. So they are equivalent. The correct option is 8 over 10. Okay, now we're going to learn how do we simplify the fractions, right? The next one is we are going to learn how do we simplify the fractions. Basically, we're going to learn how do we write them in the lowest term, right? For example, we have to start with 3 by 6. You have to write down 3 in the lowest terms. So how do we write 3 by 6 into the lowest term? You have to find the greatest common number that can divide both numerator and denominator. So which number can divide both numerator and denominator? 3 it is. So you have to divide both numerator and denominator by the greatest common number that can divide both numerator and denominator. So that is 1 over 2. So 3 by 6 in the lowest term is 1 over 2. Got it? The next one is you have to write down 5 by 9 in the lowest term. So how do we write? Do we have a greatest common number that can divide both 5 and 9? Five by 9 is already in the lowest term. You don't have any common number that can be divided by both 5 and 9 to write them in the simplified form, right? That is already in the lowest term. because you don't have any common number that can divide both 5 and 9. That is already in the lowest form, right? Okay, the next one is 6 over 8. You have to write down 6 by 8 in the lowest term. So, how do we write? You have to divide them by the greatest common number, that is 2. So, yes, that is 3 over 4. 6 by 8 in the lowest term is 3 by 4, right? Okay, the next one is 4 over 6. How do we write 4 by 6 in the lowest term? Yes, that is 2 by 3. The correct option is 2 by 3. You have to divide them by the greatest common number, that is 2. So, yes, that is 2 by 3, right? Okay, the next one is we have to write down 2 by 6 as a greatest common factor. So, how do we have to write down 2 by 6 as a lowest term? So, how do we write? That is 1 over 3. The correct option is 1 by 3. Okay, let's just move on to The next lesson, we have to find the least common denominator, right? Let's just start with an example, that is 1 by 9 and 7 over 12. We have to find out the least common denominator for 1 by 9 and 7 over 12. We have to find the LCD, the least common denominator, right? We have to write down the prime factors for both the denominators. You are given the denominators, they are 9 and 12. You have to write down the prime factors for 9, that is 3 times 3. Then you have to write down the prime factors of 12. They are 3 times 3 times 4, right? 3 times, sorry, 3 times 2, sorry, that is 3 times 3 times 2 times 2, right? So this is the common factor, and the rest of the factors are 3 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 times 2 is 24. So the least common denominator for 9 and 12 is 24. The correct option is 24. If you have any question related to the example, you can please ask. Hold on. 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 2 is 18, and 80 times 2 is 36. That is 36, not 12, right? Sorry, not 24. Okay, the next example is 7 over 8 and 11 over 12. We have to write down find out the least common denominator of 7 over 8 and 11 over 12. So how do we find? Okay, let's just write down the prime factors of 8 and 12. So prime factors of 8 are 2 times 2 times 2, and the prime factors of 12 are 2 times 2 is 4 and 4 times 3 is 12. So these are the common factor. 2 times 2 is common and 2 times 3 is are the non-common factors. So they are 24. So 7 over 8 and 11 over 12 has have a prime fact have a least common denominator, that is 24. The next one is you have to find the LCD for 1 by 2 and 9 by 10, right? 1 over 2 and 9 over 10. So which is the correct option? You are given the options 10 and 2. Which is the correct option? The correct option is 10 is the correct option, right? Okay, the next one is 5 by 6 and 7 over 8. So which is the correct option? 24 or 8. You are given two of the options. So which option is the correct one? The correct option is 24, right? 24 is the least common denominator of 5 by 6 and 7 over 8, right? Okay, now we're going to learn how do we compare fractions, right? You have to compare 1 by 4 and 1 by 2, which is you have to see which is less. 1 over 2 and 1 over 4. You have to compare the fractions, right? You have to see which is less, right? Okay, let's suppose this is 1 over 2, right? And then the same shape you have for, they are exactly the same shapes, right? 1 over 4. So the one that has the more portion colored is more. So which is more? Yes, 1 by 2 is more than 1 over 4. The correct option is 1 over 2. So the one that has the more portion colored is the greater one, and the one with the less portion colored is the smaller one, right? Okay, the other example is which is greater, 1 by 11 or 10 by 11? Which is greater? The one that have the more portion colored is the greater one. Yes, obviously that is 10 over 11. 10 over 11 is greater than 1 over 11, right? Okay, the next one is which is less, 2 by 7 and 3 by 7? Which is less? Yes, 2 by 7 is less than 3 by 7, right? Because in 2 by 7 you have the less portion colored. So 2 by 7 is less than 3 by 7. Okay, which is greater, 1 by 3 or 2 by 3? Which is greater? Very good, that is 2 over 3. Okay, which is greater, 1 over 11 or 1 over 3? Which is greater? 1 by 3 is greater than 1 by 11, because 11 has more portions, smaller portion. So the one portion out of 11 is very small, but that portion 1 by 3 is greater. Okay, the next one is 2 by 11 or 2 by 5? Which is less? The correct option is 2 by 11. 2 by 11 is less than 2 by 5, right? Okay, which is less, 1 by 9 or 4 by 9? Yes, 1 by 9 is less than 4 by 9. Okay, so that's all for today. So we were working on grade 7 math. The chapter we were working on is fractions and mixed numbers. We have started with the equivalent fractions. Then we learned how to convert the fractions into the lowest term. Then we have calculated the least common denominators, and the one we have just finished is comparing fractions, right? So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we did today. That is your homework until next session. So if you have any questions related to the lessons we have just finished, you can please ask if you have any. Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye everyone.